Welcome back, everyone. We're live, and tonight we're just going to talk to you about some various things that's going on around in the state of Georgia and in the country. So hang on to your seats, and we'll be right back. And before we do that, let's tell everybody to like the feed. I need to check and see where we're at, but I'll get into that in a little bit. Like whatever you're viewing us on and show us some love because YouTube is trying to go after us. And also, too, we're on Rumble. Rumble S Team Tactical. That's where we are. And I'm going to check, make sure we are live on Rumble right now. And if you guys get a chance, please migrate over to Rumble, and that's where we're going to be if we get kicked off of YouTube. So that is the place to be. We'll announce it later on in the show too, and show you guys exactly the link and the name, so you guys can migrate over to Rumble. Before we get started, we're going to thank the lovely people who bring this, make this thing happen. And that is SaberTeamTactical.com. And Saber Team Tactical is a tactical firearms company that we both indulge and work in. And just type in SaberTeamTactical.com. Go to the first page. Now, on the first page, I want to talk about while I'm here. If you look down below the name, it's got the Facebook page, the Twitter page, the Instagram page, and also it will take you to the Two Alphas Talk YouTube page. So if you guys want to share it, like if you want somebody to go to the Two Alphas Talk page, just go to Saber Team Tactical and click on that, and it'll take you directly to it, and you can subscribe and like. Also, go on the top, go to the classes, and from there we got various classes going on, and
our mainstay, that private one-on-one, that's been kicking. That holds us down. Basically, because we will get you straight, get you what you need. We pay attention to you exclusively. And one of the selling points to this class is that when you go to a group session or you go to a training with multiple people, you get a diminished amount of time. And one of the things that I've heard from a lot of people who've taken classes from other instructors is that they like the one-on-one because they'll have a basic need, somebody who has an understanding of firearms already or somebody brand new. We work with you individually to get you up to speed. So we're not going to bide our time between two different people or, see that you have a deficiency until you work on this. We're going to work on it and get you straight before we leave the range that day.
Mm-hmm. And you can't go wrong with that. So, yeah, I mean, this ideal. We got excellent instructors. We also take private one-on-one sessions from businesses and churches and small groups. If you guys want to work as a team or as an organization together and learn not only how to defend yourself, but medical too. We will take care of all your medical needs. So if you need that, please reach out to us, and we can go from there. I'm trying to figure out where I'm at. And we have various classes set up. They start in the summertime. So we're not going to talk about it right now, but you can go view the page, read each. If you click on each of the green tabs, it'll take you into the read about the class and how to pay for it in advance. Also, too, the laser engraving site's up. Various things from patches to plaques to earrings, leather patches. You can contact with any questions you have or anything you want worked on in here, and just hit the submit button. I'm not a robot. Hit the submit button, and they will come directly to me, and I can answer all your questions and needs. All right.
Yep.
And like I said, we're on Rumble, and we're on YouTube. And tonight, for giggles, we're actually we're going live on Twitch. So we're just doing it for
see what happens.
See what happens. It's just funny to see see it go through. I'm going to share the Rumble page so you guys can actually see and go to Rumble and start following Rumble. Hey WK, how you doing? And
Yo, yo.
here's the Rumble page. So the name is Saber. There's the name right here. It's Saber T, and we got over 525 followers, and we got over 6,094K likes. And that's something, Al.
Oh, yeah.
And we're booming on Rumble, but we try to get it off the ground over here on YouTube, but they're hating. You know what I'm saying? So we've been on Rumble for a while, and we're trying to make everything work out. Recent actions. I hope you guys been paying attention to the news and starting out watching the Twitter files, and not just the Twitter files, but the hearings have been going on in Washington D.C. all this week, and also too they started the hearings on the ATF. I haven't did any research on that one. I've been too busy watching what's happening with Twitter, and but it's going down, and it's all pointing toward the FBI. So the FBI is about to get hit too, and they're talking about putting people in jail behind this thing. So, which is a beautiful thing. I hope it takes place. I hope it takes true to what's going to happen.
The political class take care of their own.
Yeah, they do, and that's why I have a funny feeling that's going to happen. And I'm a little disappointed in what's happening with the senators and the ATF because I don't think they're going to make the 120-day rule to stop the thing. I think it's going to go through, and everybody's going to end up being a felon because their actions. You got to look at their actions. If they do something and try to make it a law to stop the ATF is not changing the rule. And what end up happening? So if they do something to try to change the law, it'll go to the House, go to the Senate. It probably barely pass the Senate. Then it's got to go for the president to sign it. You think he's going to sign it? No. Are they going to have enough people to have veto power over the president so it goes through without him? No, they're not. You know what I'm saying? So only thing that's going to happen here, I think it's the Supreme Court is going to have to. Hey, what's up, Black Chalk? And
what's going on, bro?
Only thing I think is going to happen here is it's going to go to 120 days, and from there it's going to everybody's going to be listed as a felon if you get caught. You know,
that's almost half the country, bro.
That's half the country. What was it? 40 million people going to be listed as a felon, and so only thing that's going to happen. The Supreme Court is going to have to step in, the Supreme Court, and they're going to have to make a ruling like they did on the brakes. Now, look how long that took for the brakes. It took over a year and a half. You know what I'm saying? For them to come back with a ruling saying the brace is legal to own. And now you can't find them in any shops. Nobody's selling them. Everybody destroyed them. A lot of people turned them all in and all this other stuff. But the people who have them, they're keeping them in secret. I don't blame them. You know what I'm saying? And that's the same thing you guys need to do with these braces. Keep them in secret and be prepared. Yeah, bump stocks. Thank you, WK. Bump stock. That's what I was talking about. Bump stocks. What I was saying, braces. I think I was saying braces. Yeah, you didn't correct me. Huh?
I know this time I didn't. I was trying to get this. Reach out to you. What do you call it? Instagram.
Right. Well, he said Black Chalk said it's crazy to see how every brace was taken off each pistol in all the gun shops. Yes, because this is, I'm gonna tell you what's happening with the gun shops, and Al knows this. The ATF is riding the gun shops with a heavy fist, and it's a zero tolerance for them.
Yeah,
and they're going out of their way to shut down gun shops. So
even if they give you a strike,
even if you give you a strike, I was in a gun shop today, and they're selling pistols with the braces on them, but they're making people fill out the Form 1s when they buy it. And so I don't know why they're doing that, to tell you the truth. And I think they're covering themselves, but the only thing they got to do is just take the brace off and then sell it as a pistol, and then they don't have to do a Form 1. So
Right.
anybody that go out there, you're going to buy an AR pistol, and you go out there and you go to a gun shop, and they're trying to make you fill out a Form 1. Walk out of that gun shop and find another gun shop that'll sell you that AR pistol without filling out a Form 1, because you can own an AR pistol without filling out a Form 1 or having to register it. Just take the brace off. I don't understand why they're pushing stuff like that, but it's crazy. And we're still having people on the internet telling everybody to go register. Do not register. Okay. Now the thing of it is, this is another thing I found out. When you don't register in the 120 days, and you get a wild, yeah, walk out ASAP. Yep, walk out ASAP, because they're working for the ATF. And so if you get, if you
And
go in,
on that same note, instead of working for the ATF and government shrills, some of these dudes are just misinformed. I listened to one guy, literally 15 minutes of a half hour presentation that this guy put out, and I'm like, "Are you serious?" It was just like, there it is, Form 1. It's a trap, and
Mhm.
that's what I was feeling when I'm listening to this guy. But he wasn't. I don't believe this guy is works for the government, or he's getting anything benefiting from this information. He was just wrong. Like
Yeah,
he didn't see anything wrong with
get into Form 1.
taking a
Yeah,
photo of your firearm. There, he
yeah.
said they're basically saying that they already know, and it's like you don't get it.
No,
You don't get it.
yeah. They don't know who got braces or not, and
Right.
then people registering them. Now check this out, guys. Before Al really interrupt me and messed up my train of thought.
Is that what that's called? No, you still train of thought.
It's some type of train, the locomotion, you know. And
Yes.
so with the bump
Oh,
stocks, they had about 500 people registered to bump stocks, less than. So what do you think now with these braces? I think it's going to be a lot more, because there's a lot of more silly people who don't know the law, who are confused about reading the law and listening to these jacklegs on YouTube, who's not really telling them what's happening. So if you take the brace off, they saying you can't have the brace and the gun in the same room, you know, so you can't keep it in the safe because it shows intent that you're willing to use it. Remember, they say if you take the brace off, it has to be configured where it cannot go back on the firearm. But if you can take the brace and put it in another part of the room, it's in your house. Who's going to know anyway? Not unless you tell somebody. So don't tell anybody. Don't show anybody. Don't take any pictures. Don't do any videos. Do not take that firearm across state lines, because after that 120 days, if you take that firearm across state line with that brace on there, you're going to be hit with a e-commerce law. And that's another felony on top of the felony you're about to get hit with. So you're going to do some serious time. So, and also too, this is what I found out. If you don't register now in the 120 days and you decide, okay, I'm a register after the 120 days, and no, this is the amnesty period. They say if you register after the 120 days, they're going to classify you as you're owning an illegal SBR, and the
wow.
retrieval company's coming. They're coming to get it. Okay. Now, if you don't give it up, they come in with a warrant. They come into your house, and whatever else you got in there, you're about to get charged with.
Right.
You know what I'm
On
saying?
that same lines, right? I'm gonna see if I could tie this in,
Go ahead.
because as you mentioned something and made me think about it. It's like the millions of braces that are out there and people don't know about them.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, we had two balloons. Right. We call them
Mm-hmm.
crafts,
Three.
whatever you want. Three now.
Yeah.
So we got
It's three
flying
now.
across, just
It'll be
humbly
four by tomorrow.
flying across the United States,
Right.
doing whatever they want to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And most people in America would have thought that our government, our census, the forces, the FBI,
NORAD. Where's
NORAD,
NORAD?
anybody
They can
would
track
know.
Santa Claus. They
See,
can't track a
there you
balloon.
go. That's my point. That we actually had to send fighter jets up
Right. To
to
intercept it.
look at it, to make
Oh,
sure that it was
hold
unmanned.
on. After a week, they already flew over the United States. Now,
Right.
these
Well,
things
that was the
wasn't
first
just,
one. The second one, they actually flew the one over closer to Alaska. They flew two jets to it to look to make sure that it was unmanned. You couldn't tell that was unmanned from the
yeah,
ground.
they knew.
Like, but my point is, if That's what a lot of people don't understand. The government doesn't know until you tell it. So
No,
if you don't send a picture
dude,
of your brace on
dude,
your
they're not
firearm,
gonna know. They're not gonna know.
and this was irking me with this guy with his little information piece of what's the worst that can happen. If it's illegal, you're going to get in a
What?
lot of trouble, and you're better off just going ahead and taking a picture and following the forms. Are you
But the
crazy?
trap is that ATF can't be trusted. And so ATF waited 10 years to do this. 40 million braces were sold. Guess what's going to happen after they get a significant number of braces registered at SBR? That brace is going to be deemed as illegal. Now you can't take it off your firearm. Now your whole firearms is going to be subject to be retrieval or turned in to be destroyed. That's what's going to happen. You can see
There's so
it.
many possibilities
Yeah.
that all are negative for the law-abiding gun owner. That's the key.
Mm-hmm.
My point is that these are law-abiding people. The people who are going to be criminals, that don't even have to say it. They're
No,
going to do criminal
yeah,
things. That's why they're
yeah.
criminals.
They're not filling out Form 1s.
Law-abiding citizens are the only one that's hurting on this. And for
Right.
me, I'm gonna go out and do the well, I don't, that's not my thing. I don't care. I'm not, that's not my point. My point is, and it's gonna sound that way, it's obvious that it was a loophole in the very beginning, right? If you're going to do it, go along with it, right? Then go ahead, because you were trying to skirt getting an SBR in the first place. Everyone else, just take it off. That's it.
Just take it off.
Just take it
That's
off.
all you got to do.
I'm not
Take it off.
destroying a freaking
Yeah.
perfectly good firearm just because you can't put this little attachment on it. You can't use full automatic Sears. You can't use. You can access them. You can't use a
Right.
full automatic bolt on an AR-15. But some people have AR-15s with full automatic bolts,
Yeah,
but they
you can
don't
buy
have
them.
everything else. Right?
Yeah, they're legal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's illegal. So you got one that's cut a
They
little
are.
longer than the others.
The fully automatic bolts are legal.
Yes,
You
that's
can
my
own
point.
them. Yeah, yeah.
That goes back to the same thing with this situation here. You take that stupid stock off, it's a legal
Right.
pistol.
Yes. Yeah.
That's it.
And everybody's worried because a lot of people get confused about surface. What is it? Surface contact. Now on and this is how it's explained and how you should understand it. If you put the brace on the AR pistol, it extends the
tube.
pistol out, the tube out at least another 4 to 5 inches. Now that gives surface contact to your shoulder. If you take a AR pistol and put it up on the cheek well, up on your face, the tube never touches your shoulder. So that's how they're looking at the surface contact. So you cannot actually put that tube on your shoulder and shoot an AR pistol comfortably. It won't work. You know what I'm saying? Because the tube is not long enough. So but that's what the brace was actually extending that out and allowing you to, it was doing what it was saying. It's a brace.
Right.
It was bracing the firearm so it has surface contact on your shoulder and you're able to brace and be able to shoot it a little
But the
bit
original
farther.
concept and the original
It was
design
for the
of it
hand,
was for your
for
forearm.
handicap.
Right.
Yeah, for forearm. So
Right,
people
but-
who are handicapped.
And as soon as you saw it, it was like the first time I saw it, I said it's a shoulder. It's no different than a stock on any other gun other than it splits in half.
Right. Yeah. And people were doing that. When sending the ATF, I said, you can go ahead and shoulder it. It's not a problem. See,
Right.
and that was
it was
that
at
was the
2011. 2011 when I had one. That's what I looked it up and it was fine, no problem. And I'm like,
that was the
really?
trap. See, the ATF knew they were going to do this. This was all by design.
I'm not giving them that much credit. I think they said go ahead with it, and then they saw the proliferation of people getting them. Then it was like,
with the videos.
wow,
The
look how much.
videos.
$200. We're losing out on money. Now they're flipping for millions of dollars that they could have got back in revenue. And another thing, the funny thing I heard the other day, there was a good point. I like to give credit to the guy. He comes on the radio here at noon in Georgia, and he mentioned the tax stamp in itself. It was a small piece that he did on it. But he said back when this tax stamp originally went in, it was a basically either you want to call it a rich man's tax if you want to be nice, or call it a poor man's tax if you want to be mean. And meaning that $200 was a lot of money for people back then. And
Yes, it was.
and this charge hasn't gone up in decades.
Right. It stayed the
So-
same at $200.
And when I thought about it, I was like, wow, he's right, because it was privilege. It was privilege. If you had the $200 to pay for full automatics, silencers,
No, well, it wasn't
short barrel-
$200. Full automatics a lot more expensive.
Well, I'm saying all the tax stamps, anything that requires an NFA
Yeah.
stamp on
And
it.
right.
Most people back then can't afford it, couldn't afford it. Look
Right.
at the amount of people today that have money compared
Yeah.
to what back then. You can't separate it based upon finances.
Every job-
I see guys today, bro, that are scraping together and they're buying $700 guns, and I'm like, you don't
Right.
need a $700 gun.
And-
You're barely putting gas in the car.
And the first thing they want to do is go out there and get a can. You see all the John
Yep.
Wicks at the gun
Yep.
range shooting with cans.
And it's
You know?
it's amazing. You got guys with cans, and they make their own decisions, and that's why we live in a country such as the
Freedom.
United States.
We
Yeah,
can live under
right.
freedom.
You,
But it's-
you have the,
yeah,
and
for
you have
now.
the right to succeed, and you have the right to fail. And I
Right.
see a lot of fail.
Yeah. And
'Cause you buy
it just-
a silencer just to keep up with those.
yeah. And silencers, they got to make. Well, let's read this question. I'm talking about silencers. Those who are able to need to get out and train with regular rifles, yes. And a lot of these overweight dudes are sitting up there complaining about they can't take their brace gun across state line to go train. And I'm like, why are you training with a brace gun?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not making any sense.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I don't know the markings now, because I'm an end user. I don't really care about products and all that. If it works, then we keep moving. If it doesn't, I don't really care about it. But there was some some one of those military guns that a lot of civilians were getting, 11-inch barrel. And this was about 5-6 years ago, and I saw a big push for guys getting 11-inch barrels on carbines. And it's like, okay, did you do the ballistics on that? Because and I understand, maybe they're looking at a CQB situation. And
No. The 11-inch barrel, they get away from the 10.5. Now it's not an SBR. Well, it's got to be 16 inches to be fully, but anything below 10.5, it goes under the NFA item. So that's why they did 11-inch barrels.
maybe, but I mean, because it's still not legal. You're still in that
No, it's
quandary.
not.
You're in that gray
No,
area.
It falls underneath the sawed off.
And I'm seeing
sawed off
ARs. There were, I don't know if I'm saying AK.
Dude, I've seen ARs with 7-inch barrels. ARs with 7-inch barrels
in a carbine configuration or
in a
pistol?
carbine configuration. Yeah.
So all right, what are they gonna do with that? What do you do with that? Now
Well,
it's short.
It's nasty up close.
I know. I
Up
don't care
close
about
is
that. I don't
nasty.
care. No, I'm talking about the legality of it based upon what we're dealing with today with these braces and pistols. So you got a 7. See, this is the thing where most of the people who work for the
Well-
ATF are
well,
not
when-
really gun people.
When you had a brace on there, it was considered as a pistol.
So now you put a Magpul sepia whatever product on the back. Put a Magpul stock on it for an AR-15, and you got a 7-inch barrel. Is it still illegal or illegal?
No, you can't turn a pistol into a rifle. You can turn a rifle.
No.
You can turn
No. You said it was a 7-inch barrel on
It's
a
a 7-inch
carbine.
barrel, but you cannot put a stock on it. You got to put a brace on it. You have to put a brace on
No,
it.
that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
What I
And
saw, it wasn't a brace. It was a regular stock. Let's just look at that old Vietnam era stock. Let's do a fixed stock. It's a fixed stock
Okay,
on the gun.
okay,
With a 7-inch barrel.
No, that's illegal.
See,
That's
that's my
illegal.
point, and that's where there's so many gray areas with
That's
this
illegal.
thing, because you got
Yeah.
a 7-inch barrel, but no brace. It's got a
Right.
full. Now you're in the same quandary.
Right. Yeah. Like he said, he knows people with 7.5
Right.
AR pistol braces. Yeah. And so what they need to do is stop showing them, because what's going to happen, and this is what the ATF is banking on. They're banking on your neighbors and people on the internet to turn you guys in.
Man,
That's what this is all about. And people are going to do it. The anti-gun people are going to come after you. And your jealous neighbors are going to come after you. Your
Yep.
your
And all your neighbors that just moved here from New York and moved to Georgia from New York,
they're going to
they're
come
gonna
after
come
you.
on you. 'Cause
They're all going to tell on you,
you're not
and they're
supposed
going
to
to
have a gun unless you're police.
yeah.
Those
And
people.
if you showing that brace and you walking around with that brace, you're gonna get turned in, and the next thing you know, you're gonna hear that knock at your door. I wish I had that knock on the door
10,
sound.
10,
I need to put that in. Yeah,
10,
yeah.
15.
He's calling about the car 15.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but so
ten to
it's
fifteen
crazy.
thousand dollars just starting for a legal suit, something like that. That's 10, 15
Yeah,
just to get started. That's
yeah,
that's for the entire case.
yeah. And that's not even the trial part.
Right. That
You
that's
know what I'm
just to get
saying?
it started. That's
Yeah.
just that's potentially what you can
But
expect to
but
spend.
But but check this out. What's going to happen? You're going to probably lose your job. You're going to probably all your firearms going to get confiscated because you've been hit they're going to seize every single one of them, and because you're being prosecuted for a felony, and if they come in a search and seizure, they're going to take everything.
See, and
You
this is
know.
this is where we're in that gray area again. We're in that area where it's new. They may
Mhm.
be able to do all of that, but that theoretically, based upon
If
understanding
they
the law
come with a
now,
search warrant for that weapon and they find other weapons that let's say if you
that are
got other
illegal,
weapons
right? But
that
if
are illegal, you're
you got
done. And
six
see,
bolt actions and a couple shotguns in the closet, that don't
that's
bother
nothing,
nobody.
but they're gonna still. But what if you bought one of those bolt actions from a guy off a gun broker, and now you find out that weapon is stolen because they just ran the serial number on it?
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So you
I
gone.
said it opens up the
Yeah,
door for a lot of problems.
yeah.
But my point is back to that these other guns. I thought about it, and it's like,
Hmm.
okay, let's just talk about different calibers. We're talking about 223 and the AR pistol. What about
Hmm.
the 22 Chargers? What about the 9mm Charger? You know, it's I think the Charger. One of them is legit, but one has a 6 or 7, maybe 10-inch
Let's
barrel.
let's go back to that. Remember the what was that thing that was taking the Glock and putting it inside that
Oh, the Roni.
the Roni?
Hmm.
Remember the Roni when it first came out?
Yeah.
Everybody said you couldn't shoulder it because it becomes an SBR. Then it had the front takedown that was a vertical
Hmm.
going down, and so you couldn't own it. You couldn't shoot it unless it was SBR. Then all of a sudden, um, when the brace thing came out, then everybody started shooting the Ronis. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but
Now
the Roni
every
was
single one of
around a
those
long time ago because the
Roni's been around. Yeah,
Israelis
yeah,
started with that. And one of the
right.
things when I first saw it, if you don't know by now, you will know after this statement. I talk a lot of and when I first saw it, I was like, yo, that's for people who can't shoot. I mean,
Right.
you got a pistol and you put it in this contraption and you still got a pistol. It doesn't increase
It
the
doesn't extend the
velocity.
barrel.
It doesn't extend
It doesn't.
your
Uh-huh.
lethality. You just
Uh-huh.
got a 4 points of contact because you can't shoot. So,
Right.
and I would make jokes. And then
Right.
one about 13, 14, somebody says, you got to either register that or it falls under the S. I'm like, are you crazy? What?
Yep.
And sure enough,
That's
it
right.
did. I'm like,
That's right.
it doesn't
That's
extend the
right.
barrel. You're just
Yep.
putting your pistol into a contraption because you don't
And you turned it
practice.
into an
And now you
SBR.
just
It's
turned
an
it into SBR. I was like,
NFA item. So
yep.
now you're going to jail.
I said, that's crazy. That's crazy.
So
For a bunch of hunk of plastic.
so
MCK, that's
what?
the other one. Yeah.
Okay, MCK.
Hmm.
Okay.
The
All
Roni,
right.
I think Roni was first and the MCK came out after it.
Yeah. PC
See?
chargers have pistol grips. That's its true pistol,
Hmm.
same as the
But what
1022.
about if you put a stock on that? That was my
Now it
point.
becomes
If right now it becomes a item that's under regulation right now.
same as the Thompson Contender.
Yep.
Thompson Contender is a pistol, so
Hmm.
you can't put a stock on a Thompson Contender. Now it becomes an SBR because the barrel's too short.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. So
So
and then the other one so this guy's putting fake suppressors on and said they would get away with it. You got to read the fine print because it has to be pinned. So
yes, it
it
has
has
to
to
be
be
pinned.
so it's like
It has to be
just
pinned.
take this shit off.
Right.
People are trying to find ways to
The-
skirt the law, and yet it doesn't work because you're doing. If you got to do three things and you only do two, you're still wrong.
Mhm.
You're still wrong.
Yeah, yeah. It's very wrong. Tell everybody if whatever you're watching from, please like
Yep.
and subscribe.
And if you're on social
On
media with any of that stuff, just go ahead and share it to your page or something like that. That helps us out a lot.
Matter of fact, I need to share it to our page real quick. So,
Hmm.
but um, like and share, that helps us. YouTube is coming after us,
And it's free.
and yeah, and it's free. It's not gonna hurt anything.
Right.
You know what? I'm gonna wait till after the show, and I'm gonna share the Rumble, and I'll just do that.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, uh, that'll be better. And so today, this week, also too, let's see, 27 states have joined in to sue the ATF. And the states, this just happened a couple days ago. The states are West Virginia, North Dakota, Alabama, Alaska, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, um, Idaho, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, New Hampshire, Oklahoma, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Utah, Virginia, and Wyoming. And all these they're suing the ATF over the brakes ruling. So this has been pushed by FIC, and it's also being funded by the NRA. And the
Okay.
NRA is actually funding this lawsuit. So this things about they're hot and heavy. They know they're running out of time, so the lawsuit's got to hit them because they're trying to get the Supreme Court to come in and step in and stop this madness before everybody become felons. And this is the biggest lawsuit that's around so far, and which is a good thing. So just hopefully, we can make it, they can make it happen. We still haven't got a lot of and seeing what brought this on was the State of the Union address, where the president said he wanted to get rid of all ARs, and
Hmm.
that's the goal. The goal is to confiscate and get rid of
They're
all
telling us
guns.
exactly what they're trying
Yeah,
to do.
yeah, and people are
Pay
still not
attention.
believing it.
Right.
They're not believing it. They're
Yep.
not waking up.
And especially
Uh,
the people that voted for him. They're like, oh, he
yeah,
can't do this.
right.
Oh, bro, there's plenty. They see a
Watch.
lot of these guys are new and they don't
Yeah.
remember 1994.
Right. They don't
That's the
remember
key.
1994, and a lot of people not paying attention. Watch California. California was a test bed for all this to happen. And
Hmm.
they're doing everything they did in California to the rest of the nation. I saw it coming in California, and I'm seeing the same thing happen for the nation right now.
Yep.
This week, I joined the Georgia Second Amendment group. That's the organization in the state of Georgia that stopped the organization groups from stopping concealed carry
Music
members
Midtown.
Music Midtown from going into a government property for trying to stop them from doing it. It's a great group. Um, Sad that we don't have a lot of people that goes to the meetings and uh, try to participate, and that's why I say we have a lot of people here in the state of Georgia that are they talk a big game, but when it's time to put their feet down to the fire, they just don't want to do anything. They just think, well, it's not going to happen to me. I'm not worried about it. I'm good or whatever. But this is you give them an inch and they take a mile, and the whole goal is to get rid of everything. Um, and let me read this question before we get started into this. And California has shootings nonstop, and the laws don't work. Yeah, you believe it or not, California has more registered firearms than the state of Georgia. More. So, and they still have shootings.
Yeah,
And
if you have a gun that's registered but you can't carry it, it's almost like having I got a fax machine.
but they got the most restrictive laws in the nation,
Hmm.
and they still have. But so the next thing that California is going to do is probably confiscation. I see that happening, and if they get a couple more mass shootings, and with that governor, that wacky governor out there, he's going to do it. It's just a matter of time.
They had a
You know what
setback.
I'm saying?
The government of California had a setback on firearms today. Actually, it
Yeah.
was yesterday.
The one on the magazines, and what was the other one? You remember?
No, I'm trying to look it up as
Oh,
we
just
talk.
jump in when I
Hmm.
go through this. So I went to one of their meetings today, and we're going to have the Georgia Second Amendment group guys on next week, and they're going to be on, and they're going to be able to talk about what the organization is about and what the group is doing. Um, But the agenda that they have for 2023 is a lower minimum age to Georgia weapons license from 21 to 18. That's what they
Damn.
want to put. Yeah, they want to put that on the books. Eliminate gender and age restrictions to join the state militia, and adding training requirements, because if you're part of the militia, it gives you a different for your Georgia weapons license. It gives you a higher status, so you can carry in a lot more places than you than the normal weapons license person carry. Removing the opt-in requirement for church carry. It's still illegal to carry inside of a church here in the state of Georgia, and it's you must get permission by the pastor in order to do that, or just carry concealed. And you should carry concealed in the state of Georgia anyway.
Well,
Uh,
well, let me tell you.
uh, Changing courthouse, the Georgia code. They want to be able to carry inside Supreme Courts, not the court itself, but the area that's not holding a judicial court hearing. So the foyer, the public accessible areas, like for here in Cobb County, to get into the municipal building, I have to go through a metal detector, and so you can't carry in firearms and knives, anything, and it's ridiculous how stringent they are, thinking you carrying a knife. And I went through one time to get my license, and uh, the guy was like, "Where's the knife?" I was looking at, dude, I don't have a freaking knife. What's wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? He wanted to swear up and down I had a knife on me, and I was like, "Come on, man, stop being stupid." You know what I'm saying? And allowing seized firearms to be quickly auctioned for profit by the local law enforcement to qualified gun owners. Now, they said the Atlanta itself, Fulton County, when they what their guns do, they destroy them. It's a lot of other counties here in the
A lot of
state.
Democratic places, governments do that.
Yeah, they destroy them.
They burn
Yeah,
them.
they. Mhm.
Hmm.
But it's some that some of the other counties, the more conservative counties, they actually sell them to a local gun shop, and that gun shop will go and resell them back out.
Some of them
So
have auctions where the police actually hold the auction. I've seen it.
I remember those
Yep,
auctions.
they
Yeah,
still do it. There's
yeah.
like I'm not further away you get from Atlanta, then the more you'll see it. How about that? I'll
Or
say it that way.
freedom. You know,
Yeah, I'm not gonna say
California used to
exactly
have
what you
gun
mean. Yep.
auctions too. Yeah, we used to be able to buy guns at from the local police department
Because
every once a
you
year.
think about it,
Yeah.
even if a guy was a DWI, and to me that's like a traffic infraction. So
Mhm.
he's not a criminal. He's an idiot that made a bad mistake, right? But you got people who get caught with guns and they're doing a crime, and then they get the gun confiscated. Do we feel sorry for that guy? I don't feel sorry for that guy. That's not a Second Amendment proponent. That's somebody that's causing us grief. That's the
Yeah.
reason why you have to carry on a regular basis. That's the same dude that may rob you while you're sitting down having dinner with your family.
I say the same thing about all the idiots that get caught at the airport. You know what I'm saying?
See,
There's some
no,
fucking
because
idiots.
shit. That's a good one.
Come
That's a
on,
good one.
man. I mean,
That's a
how
good one.
can you
Yeah,
not know you
yeah.
got a gun in your bag?
Because
Come on, man.
it's the same thing that Black Chalk just said earlier about people who training. These are people who have firearms that do not train. They think that that's a magic wand, and when something goes down, they can pick it up and
If you forget the firearms
I
in
got a
your
gun.
bag and you go to the airport, when the S is about to hit the fan, you're not gonna remember it's in that bag.
Dude, you telling me I'm in total agreement. I'm in total agreement. My point is that it's hard. I think I agree with you. And at
Right.
the same time, I have a little bit, not that much understanding because I've never done it, right?
Right.
But I would tell you, I wouldn't be a hypocrite, but I would tell you if I did something stupid like that. But it's crazy because I see these people and it's like, Grandma, you've been having that little Derringer in your purse for the last 20 years. You didn't know that it was in there. And it's like what you're
Right.
saying. If you really
Right.
need it, you're just gonna freeze. By the time the dude's running away, you go, I should
You're
have
gonna be,
shot his ass.
and you'll probably end up shooting yourself because you're fumbling. with
Well,
it.
most of them are gonna
Yeah.
shoot themselves,
Yeah.
especially people
No.
coming out of. You know, I see guys, man, that are carrying purses now. There ain't no other way.
Yeah,
about
that's
it.
the good thing. This younger
Don't tell me
generation
about no
carrying,
damn tactical
they're
bag.
carrying
None of that.
purses.
There's a
You
damn
know,
purse.
they're
What-
carrying purses. And remember those purses? You're old enough, remember. I know a couple of you guys out here. We those guys in the 70s, remember the purses
Yeah.
they used to have on the shoulder?
Mhm.
Those purses are coming back. Now they're actually purses. They're not shoulder holsters.
Nope.
They don't look masculine. They're straight purses.
They're
And these dudes-
handbags, dude. They're handbags. That's what.
Yeah, I'll wait
carrying
that
a
dude to bust
handbag.
out and put his lipstick on.
Yep.
I mean, it's
Yep.
ridiculous.
I saw an
These-
argument today, guys,
Oh.
debating it, trying to explain why, saying that if they had a lot of money to carry it, what you got pockets for, bro? That's what
Right.
the wallet was invented for. If you got a lot
Oh
of
no,
cash,
no, they can't do that because they're wearing tight shirts and tight pants. So that's why. And that purse is also carrying that firearm in there.
Oh.
And so they're walking around. So only thing you got to do is disarm them from that purse,
Yep.
and they don't have a firearm.
You get a good knife,
You
you
know
cut
what
one of
I'm
them straps, and it's done.
Yeah,
You be fumbling
yeah.
around fighting. I've already thought of it. I looked at it like, and I
Yeah.
asked the guy, I said, "Man, that bag's kind of heavy." He had one of those satchels that like a crossbody bag.
He probably had an SBR in there.
No, it wasn't that big. It wasn't that big, but he had a pistol, and he was trying
Right.
to explain to me. He's like 3 magazines in, 3 magazines plus. Dude,
He's got
where you
he's got
going?
his whole gear in there.
Yes.
So if he's got to get in a tussle, that bag is gone.
Bro, I'm telling you,
Yeah.
I don't know. I know a lot of people here. I can understand this. If you know anything
see-
about fighting and you got anything hanging off you, that's the first
It's
control
gone.
piece that I want to
It
use.
is gone. It's gone immediately.
I got control when you got the. So
Yeah.
if you've ever taken any courses with in close and you're wearing
Yeah,
a
I have.
sling, right? And you're wearing
Yeah.
that's why you guys with this. Here we go back to the sling argument. Wearing a sling, and
Yeah.
you get inside and you're searching rooms, and all of a sudden somebody pops out and in arm's length to grab that rifle, shotgun,
And now-
whatever that long gun
Yeah.
you're carrying. Right now you're
You're
in
gonna
a fight. And
You're in a fight.
you're now in my control if I'm the one
Yes.
grabbing it, because one, I got the muzzle pointed down this way, it's away from me, and I can start
Mm-hmm.
stroking you with your own goddamn. And I've done it, stroking
Right.
you with your own butt
Right.
stop, and then on top of that, we're gonna start doing spins because I'm gonna
If
spin.
you know
around
what
till
you're doing,
your
you
feet
can
come off.
actually make the firearm not even fire by dropping the magazine and charging it at the same time you're working them.
Bro, I
You
was
know
a
what I'm
role
saying?
player for many, many years. And the recruits would come out, and as soon as they saw that when their feet came off the ground, because I just started going in a circle, start spinning around, you see those eyes, and I'm looking right at them like, yeah, mama, I got you. And the Jekyll's here. And that's what people don't realize, because everybody got to have a sling. Everybody wants a
Right.
sling.
Right.
When
No,
you're
they-
walking through buildings, trust me, after that happens to you, and you know, these are decent sized guys, like 180, 200 pounds. I really picked on the 160s. I was trying to get them to leave. But nonetheless, when you have that happen to you, when you get to that door, that threshold the next time, that sling comes off. That sling comes off, or you don't have it wrapped around your arms underneath your you take the control part out away from you.
Right. Yeah. You limit your mobility.
Exactly.
That's why I never carried a sling.
Ooh, he said never. Ladies and gentlemen, he said never.
Never carried
Hey,
the
dude,
sling.
one of these days we're gonna have to do
and-
a show on all the fights that we have outside.
And
of
I
this
never
show.
carried the sling, but I never carried a pistol. I only carried a rifle. So I didn't have a sling. That was my primary, my secondary. That was my meat and potatoes.
I just thought about it. I'm gonna write this down. That's a good topic for a show. Is all
What's
the
that?
fights that the two alphas get into outside of being on the show.
Yeah.
The first one with the video Rick did.
The FUDs.
Or even before that,
Yeah.
the FUDs and the other
Right.
words that we were called. That
Right.
was
Yeah.
that goes back to 16,
Yeah.
15, 16.
Yeah.
Wow.
So also they want to clarify the campus carry and the language defining firearms locations because apparently campus carry, you can't carry everywhere in the campus. You can't carry into the stadium. You can't carry into the admissions area. Anywhere they have disciplinary actions, you can't carry in those places. I don't think you can even carry inside the the dorms, and or the frat houses.
Wow, that's
Uh,
probably where you would want it. That's how you defend yourself. It's almost like where you're
so you
home.
got drinking in the frat house, you got idiots.
Yeah.
Then you got the disciplinary action. Somebody gonna come in there all
Well, that's the
perked
same thing
out.
I was going to say earlier about
Yeah,
courts. That's the reason
and
why there's metal detectors, because you get decisions that come down even in civil court, and people don't like it.
yeah, and either they'll do themselves or do the judge or whatever.
Right.
So yeah, award monetary damages to applicants for failure to process the GWL application. So that's apparently they had some problems with one county. I can't remember the county, but it's a small county, and the judge has been denying people their GWLs. And this group got on him, and basically he's like, "Well, so what? It happened." You know what I'm saying? So
Oh
yeah,
wow.
yeah. So they want to be able to find them and make it a law, so the judge won't do it again.
Right.
Stopping state and local governments from restricting legal purchases of firearm during emergency. We had this happen in the state of Georgia, and a lot of states had this during the yeah, and a lot of governors stopped gun shops from operational, said they were not essential. Now, that's also true if you have a state of emergency like a riot or anything. They don't want people going and buying stockpiles of ammunition and
The last minute.
firearms.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really matter. They're going to do it anyway, or they're going to break into place and take it. You know what I'm saying? Provide immunity for civil liability of property owners who allow firearms. That's where if a property owner invites you on, knowing you're carrying, and you use your firearm in a defensive posture to protect yourself or the property owner or the property itself, and so now the property owner is not liable for if anything that happened, long as it wasn't used in a crime.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Establishing liability for governments that restrict firearms but fail to offer a safe storage. That's the Safe Storage Act they're trying to stop. That Safe Storage Act is actually going into the House, and it's going to cause a lot of problems with a lot of people because you got to be locked up and all types of other different stuff. And if you don't have kids like myself, I don't need to lock up anything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Prohibiting local governments from banning the discharge of weapons on a 10-acre of property or more. So basically, if you live out in the farm, the country, and you can't, what if you want to have a rifle range or whatever? So basically, they're stopping you from having a long distance shooting range.
Really?
Yeah, that's basically what the.
Wow.
So that's why. Remember, old boy up in I forgot his name, Doug. He got shut down because of that. He was shooting out on his property. And you just can't start a range on your property.
Really? In the state of Georgia?
You can shoot, but it can't once you start charging. Once you start running classes,
right,
once you
okay.
start doing that kind
So
of
once it
stuff,
becomes a business, you got
it becomes a business.
Right.
Yeah, you got to go ahead and start greasing the local politicians.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Banning the creation of multi-judicial W. Oh, okay. This one here, banning the creation of multi-judicial GWL database used for tracking firearms. So they don't want a lot of databases to be created for tracking firearms. We got one 4473 here. We don't need a state database. We don't need another database on top of that to track firearms because that's too much people's information. Establishing a standard and obtaining a GWL through court order, revoking the GWL through Superior Court. And that's the one that's going to come under where restraining orders, people who, these guys, PTSD guys, anybody who's been established as mental illness or anything or threat or danger, by circumstance. Anybody can make it up and say, okay, he's a threat or danger, and they're just going to automatically believe him. And next thing that they're going to do is come out and want to seize all your firearms. So, and the court can do that, because of the red flag laws. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they can come and do that. Restore common law definition for assault. And that is a good one, because what they want to do is, remember, assault here in the state of Georgia is just pointing a firearm at a person. If a person is in the room and they feel threatened, if you have a firearm out, even if you didn't point it at them, you're looking at it, you clean it, that can be considered as an act of assault. Or if you, let's say, if you had some intruders come on your property, and instead of engaging with those intruders, you hold them at bay. Now it's legal for you to do that. Now it's going to come if they're on your property, but it's going to be some fine line stuff here. Now you can be subject to be held for false imprisonment. Now they can look at it as assault because now you pointed your firearm at them.
Mm-hmm.
It's and so that's also too. What if you're driving down the highway and your firearm's sitting on the dashboard and somebody see it, and just because they see it and it's pointing at everybody, now you can be charged with assault. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they want that law to be defined and the definition, and so it eliminate that whole proportion of who's, they can't you get an overzealous police officer that hates guns and they just charge you with that. And once you get charged with it, it's going to be hard to get it out of the system. You know what I'm saying? Unless that police officer pull it back, and they're not doing it, And now you've been charged with assault. For instance, this happened to it was a competition shooter years ago. He was very arrogant.
It must have been. Never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, he's an arrogant guy. Most competition shooters are arrogant,
right?
And so I tried to be friends with him on the range one day, and he just act like he didn't want to talk to me, right? So, lo and behold, a couple weeks later, he said he was driving down the road. He's a white guy. He was driving down the road, and he said he got in a road rage with three black teens, right? So the black teens pulled off. He pulled this way. Apparently, it called the cops. Said he pulled a gun on him. He said he didn't pull a gun on him, but
I remember this.
They went to his house.
Mm-hmm.
They arrested him, seized his firearms, charged him with a felony and assault. And they said it was a Glock, and it looked like a black gun. A Glock. He carried a black gun, a Glock, so he had no choice. But this cat went around on the internet, on Facebook, and was asking everybody to come and testify at the hearing on his behalf.
Right.
I was like, no, I'm not doing it.
Mm-hmm. That's what happened when you never know what happens tomorrow, so you should act accordingly today.
Right. Because I think he did it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's my philosophy.
It's kind of hard to, if you say Glock and somebody has a gun, more than likely they're going to have a Glock. So that's kind of easy. But at the same time, if you're a mild-mannered person, everybody doesn't believe everybody's armed. You know what I mean? So for them to say that he had a gun, this is what I was thinking when I heard it, and I got the same. Hey man, you are you available? No. But,
no. But he went to all black people wanted to just talk on his behalf. So
because it was fighting fire with fire. But at the same time, when you said that, I was thinking I was going to drop some ID, what do you call it? Names. But anyway,
no names.
Yeah, I'm not. But what I'm saying is that when you say a Glock, it's kind of across the board. So it could have been, right?
Yeah, it could have been a dagger.
Not everybody has a gun.
It could have been a dagger.
Exactly, but not everybody has a gun. That's my point.
Right.
Not everybody has a gun. So that led me to believe.
But see,
then being hot-headed and arrogant, you showed it to him. You thought it would scare them.
Mm-hmm. And it did. And it made him go call the police. And because apparently these wasn't hood teenagers, it was just normal teenagers.
Right.
And but it was 3 against him. And all of them described the same thing. And that's how they went and arrested him. You know what I'm saying? Even though I don't know, it's just one-on-one. So he had to go to court. I don't know where it happened, the court case. I didn't follow it. I really didn't give a damn at that point. So he was it was what it was. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Yeah,
So don't get yourself in that road rage
right.
predicament.
It
Yeah.
doesn't make sense. It
No.
doesn't make sense. I try to help people and just like let it roll. Just let them
Hmm.
roll. Seriously, let
Yeah.
it roll. When somebody cuts you off, slow down. Let them go. Let them go.
Now I had an incident happen. It was say about 7 years ago, and we're coming through a police roadblock because the car was stopped. So I'm going through. The car ahead of me was looking on, basically just stopped. So I blow my horn. It's like keep the traffic going. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And there's a bunch of women in the car. So as I'm going up, and
Were you by
next thing
yourself?
I was by myself.
Oh shit.
Okay. So it was about four black women in the car. You know what I'm saying? So next, the driver rolls down her window, calling me all types of MFs and this, that,
Oh
and the other.
shit.
So I rolled my window up and I was like, I just go on, right? But apparently, she starts following me. You know,
Uh oh.
she's behind me. She gets on my left side. She gets from backside. Then she gets in front of me, slamming on her brakes and carrying on. And I finally passed her. And when I passed her, I pulled my flashlight up and I hit her with the light.
Oh.
She slams on the brakes and woo, turns around. I guess
She
she thought
thought she thought she was shot. She thought she got shot.
because she was about to follow me home. I
Oh.
was like 8 blocks from my house. I was like, I can't let this lady follow me to the house. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Right.
I had to do something to the flashlight. It worked. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but she was road raging for no reason. You know, there was no
Uh,
reason. Just go on your merry way.
yeah. A lot of times I'll just go a different route if I think somebody's following me, just on that tip alone.
Oh, I would have, but I never would have turned into where I actually live. I would have went, I would have kept on driving. I probably would have drove down to the police department or something. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But yeah, but the flashlight stopped it. Flashlight stops a lot of stuff. A lot of people don't realize that.
Oh,
You
you
know.
you're in agreement with flashlights?
Yes, I carry a flashlight with me every day. You know. I don't know
No,
about
I'm
you.
I'm teasing because oh yeah,
Oh,
dude.
see, here's mine. Oh, what is this? Oh, matter of fact, I still got the brand new sticker on. I didn't tuck it off. You know. Let me see.
Bro, always
Uh,
got a flashlight
let's
not
see.
attached to my
Yeah, it's in my hand.
yeah,
Yeah,
not a flashlight.
yeah,
So the other day, a guy said, what do you need a flashlight for? You have one on your phone. I said, what about if you're on the phone talking and you
yeah,
gotta get some help, but you got the, and he looked at me and
yeah.
said, oh, good point. I said, dude, it's like this was under $50, like 40 something dollars.
No, well, mine's like 80. This here
Yeah,
is an eight.
but
This is an
but I'm
Ace
just
Beam.
saying,
This is an Ace Beam. Ace Beam TK16. So it's like 80
this
bucks.
is Surefire or something. Yep,
Yeah.
Streamlight.
Hmm.
It's a Streamlight.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is, it doesn't cost much because I don't buy stuff that if I'm prone to lose this. And
Yeah.
it'd be sitting somewhere where I was sitting, and now I'm not there anymore, and it's still there, and I'll be gone. So
Right.
I can tolerate, and I won't because it'll probably drive me crazy. Even for $50, I'll still be looking around
I
trying
won't
to
lose
find
it,
one.
but I have a tendency not to take them out of my pocket, and I put one in the washer. So
Well, this
I
one's
got this.
waterproof. That's why I like it.
Oh,
This one
okay.
is waterproof.
I need to get some waterproof ones.
Yep, that's it.
And
And it's cheap.
but
You know.
but those are the things that's coming up.
Hmm.
I do recommend you guys who live in the state of Georgia join an organization that's fighting for your rights. And this is all the stuff that they got.
Oh, GA2A. When you
Yeah,
said it all long and official and everything, I was like,
that's the real name, man.
yeah,
GA2A. Yeah, I'm
right.
a member of GA2A.
I've been there.
And
I've been with them for since I moved to Georgia.
right. And here's all the bills they're tracking right now.
Hmm.
That's the gun control bills and the stuff that's coming up. The green ones is the ones that's coming up. I think the red ones are dead, and the blue ones are the ones being thought about. And so, but you can go and read about the organization. You can read the agenda. The tracker is here. This that page I'm on. You can read the agenda, what their agenda is, and the legislation session, and it tells you can take action. They do a form letter if you want to write all your senators and stuff, It gives senator scorecards, and um, membership is only $25 if you want to become a member a year. No, $20 a year, and the renewal is $20. Lifetime member is 500. This can't hurt. You know what I'm saying? So this is you guys spend that buying a cheeseburger. You know what I'm saying? So join this group, join some group. If you don't join a group, give some money to the group so you can help them file these lawsuits. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? It doesn't hurt. Like I said, we'll have these guys on next
I wonder
week.
if you can join or you can send money directly to the ILA separate from NRA.
That is a very good question. That is a very good question. That is something to look into. You know, because NRA is going to probably try to grab all that money and put it in the poorest pocket, so you can buy breakfast. So you can buy breakfast. You know what I'm saying? And but these guys are on. They're on Twitter. They're on Telegram, MeWe, Facebook, and they also have the website. So check them out and get involved, people. It's time. We can't wait anymore. Now it's time to get involved. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, we're gonna try to have them on next week, so we'll go more detail on a lot of these things they're talking about, and you guys will be able to watch. So just be here next week. Next week will be a live show, call-in show too, and we'll hold all the calls until at the end. If you guys got any questions on laws and things of that nature, so
Yeah, if ID's out there, this is the time to write all that stuff down you was asking me and get a second opinion, so to speak. But basically, I went to their website and got a lot of information that he was requesting from that website.
yeah, yeah, they're very knowledgeable people, and they don't have the knowledge. They bring somebody in to have the knowledge. And I was a guest speaker today at their meetings, talking about the braces and stuff. So, um, you know,
Did you
and,
give anybody the knife hand, bro?
no, I just sat down and went over stuff. No knife hand.
Okay, 'cause I know. Sometimes you get heated and you get your passion
Well, I
started
told
running.
them some stuff they didn't know. You know, a lot of people didn't know about the sunset, the 88-day rule. The if you register after the 120 days, you'll be subject to arrest. Also, the exports. A lot of people don't realize the exports. The what is it? The MP5s. What's the other one? The Dracos. The Dracos. And any of those guns, you put a you put a brace on it, and you automatically got an illegal firearm. You can't even take it off. They won't even allow you to take it off. You either got to turn it in, or you go to jail, or their retrievals coming to get it.
Wow.
So yeah. So if people register a Draco MP5, not realizing this is a freebie, they're gonna be. That's the retrievals coming. You know what I'm saying? So after
I
the
don't see I don't see the retrieval not coming for anybody that takes them up on that offer.
yeah,
I saw a lot of
and
people. I saw a
even
lot
if
of people
this
on
is
social media saying that they did it and it don't pretty much like the people who took this jab. It didn't hurt. Okay, not
right,
yet. Not yet.
but the funny thing about this, even if this is pushed away, now they're gonna know who's owns what, and if you got an export with a brace on it, you turned it in, the retrieval's still coming. You know what I'm saying? So they're coming to get it.
Yep.
You know, so there you go, people.
Yep. And the next one also we're going to talk about next week is when you can and cannot shoot people. When you
Oh
can
yeah,
and
yeah.
cannot.
You can bring that up tonight, or you want to save it? Yeah, because next week we're gonna have those guys on the agenda.
Okay. You see what time it is?
Oh, okay. It's up to you, man. You want to shut it down? All right, we'll talk about it next week.
Oh
It's past,
man.
it's past Al's bedtime.
Ain't
All
that
right,
something?
guys,
Yep.
and thanks for stopping by, like and share, and we'll see you guys at the range.
See you on the
Anything
range,
else?
guys.
All right, talk to you later. Bye.
Ciao.